Welcome to this episode of Ferdinand Castelnaudary. We're in the kitchen and today Franck is going to be doing all the gorgeous cooking. He's going to be making today a delicious, hearty, warm, satisfying, strengthening boeuf bourguignon with our cookie-o. I've raved about it in all these previous episodes. It's like a French instant pot. We absolutely love it. And now we're going to make a cookie-o version of boeuf bourguignon, which cooks it much faster so we can have a delicious, nutritious, fresh meal on this cold winter day. Are you ready, babe?
Yes, I'm ready. Let's do it. So I'm going to chat about the ingredients, but right now I'm just going to brown the meat for about 6 minutes. So rissolage, which kind of browning if you have an instant pot. And here I just have about just over 2 pounds on 1 kilogram of
Beef?
Yeah.
What kind of beef?
It's kind of stew.
Stewing beef.
Yeah,
Did you dry it off with a paper towel, I see?
So yeah, I kind of just dry it out a bit so it's brown.
Gives it that crispiness.
Exactly.
Julia Child talks a lot about wiping down your meat before you brown it or fry it, just so that way you get that crispiness on there.
If you have more time, you could just do 6 minutes of like whatever touched the cookie-o, but just I'm not here for perfection, so I just put the entire thing, but you could do 2 rounds of browning if you'd like. So, whoops!
Whoopsie!
The beauty, 5-second rule, that's...
5 second while we're wiping
Yeah.
it. Thank God I just swept the floor.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Throw it in there.
Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients. I already talked about the meat. There are some different variations of boeuf bourguignon. I have kids, so vegetables is not like the forte, but if you'd like, you could start by browning and cooking some mushroom and garlic. About 250 grams of mushroom for that type of recipe. I skip that part. I go straight to the meat, the browning section. Some don't add carrots. Me, I like carrots, so I just cut 5 about medium-sized carrots.
Yeah, nice and thick so that way it stays like that.
So you can see here, I'm just going to show you guys. It's not really thin, and it's important because after that I'm going to cook under pressure for 30 minutes.
You don't want it to dissolve, yeah.
So that's one part. For the carrots, veggies, then some people that's really up to you guys. Here's the size of potatoes. I think I have about like 1 pound here. You could add just more,
Whole potatoes.
Whole potatoes.
And these are like this.
Okay, so I'm browning this section, and like halfway through the browning, again, doesn't need to be perfect on every side. Then I'm going to add about, I just like lardons. So it's about 100 grams. I decided to put 150 just to add more flavor.
Pork lardons.
Yep. Then about 500 milliliter with a bouillon, so water, warm water, and then you put 1 beef bouillon. So 500 milliliter, it's about 2 cups. And then, well, that's for me to try it, but we have a delicious wine that Leslie is going to talk about.
We'll tell you the story.
And then, so we're going to let it brown. And then the next part is going to be pouring the wine into the meat and kind of make sure that the bottom has no crust or anything like that. So about 25 centiliters, I think. So that's about half a cup. And the other part that I'm going to add is about 3 spoons of that into
tomato
that bouillon.
Paste.
Tomato paste. Yeah, thank you. Of that. Yeah. So you can see that it's going to be pretty liquidy, and you don't want, after the 35 minutes when I pour all the ingredients, I'm going to close it, pressure cooking for 30 minutes, and you don't want all that liquid at the end of it to just be
Too liquid.
Too liquidy, so
you wanna kind of have a reduction in a way. You
yeah.
wanna have it like a thicker.
So I'm going to add just 3 tablespoons of flour, making sure that you kind of like move it around so it's not just one big clunk of flour. So it's about a quarter cup, about 3 big spoon. And then yes, salt, pepper. If you want to add some flavor, you could add some thyme in it. Thyme. And yeah, that's about it. Super easy already. That's kind of a really nice meal to have.
Normally in France, you would cook it in a cocotte, which is like a Dutch oven. But it takes a long time in a Dutch oven to do, and you have to kind of like watch it. So what we like with the Instant Pot version, or in this case the Cookio version, you can cook it quite quickly. You don't have to slave over it, and then the meat comes out very tender, the juice is very thick, and it's very delicious. And you just get all that flavor that's infused, and it's very, very healthy. Eat it with like a tasty bread, and yeah. Oh, so Frank's cooking. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about in this episode. We have 5 subjects in this episode of Wrestling Castelnaudary. We are, week 4 in Castelnaudary, recapping what we had experienced this last week. So one of the fun things that we did, we took a day journey, about 30 minutes away to Carcassonne, which is a medieval fortress. It's super old, and it is gorgeous and mythical, and it looks like Harry Potter. And they sell a lot of Harry Potter stuff there because it does look like Hogwarts. And we just went for the day. We didn't have really any expectations. Franck just took me there, and I was not having the best day. I was like tired, perimenopausal. My back was hurting, and just exhausted from the last 9 months of moving. And we went there, and we had a great lunch at Le Petit Maroc, is what I think that's what it's called, Petit Maroc. And they just had wonderful hospitality there. I ate a delicious maigre de canard, which is duck, with fries, and 2 glasses of vin chaud. So you definitely, if you like vin chaud, mulled wine, you want to stick around for the recipe that I put on my Instagram. I'll put it in the blog post. And then, after that delicious meal and some warmth on a cold, windy day, we then wandered around taking photos and exploring with the kids. And then my son also bought a crossbow, a toy crossbow, which he very much liked. He's reminding me now to tell you guys how much he loved it. For $10, you could get a cool crossbow. And what?
And then there was another thing about restaurants in France, which is kind of lovely, is that you can bring dogs. Dogs are allowed.
Yeah, we brought 3 dogs into the restaurant.
And he was like, no problem.
And they wrapped up the leftover steak for our dogs. It was really sweet. Very, very nice restaurant, Le Petit Maroc. I think that's what it's called. And then we wandered around, and we saw a gorgeous little art gallery, and everything in there was just swoon-worthy. So we ended up buying a lot of art, a lot. We bought 2 giant statues for our back garden, because it's kind of, smaller than what we had. We have a pool back there. I'll post a picture as I'm talking of our garden. And we figured we had the budget, because we're not going to do a significant amount of investment in the garden. I figure we'll just zhuzh it up with some plants and some art. So that's what we did.
Our own housewarming gift.
It is our own housewarming gift, for sure.
You can bring more if you want.
You can send us more if you like. So we bought that, kind of eccentric. The house is pretty much done. Like I told you guys in the last episode, we have to do the skylights and a few other little things, but honestly the house is just in amazing condition, and we thought, okay, well, we can splurge on doing that and getting 2 pieces of art. And then we did get some tableaus, some wall art, and Franck got like a wall statue of a kind of like a nude body that looks like mine. That's what he said. And we got, 3 pieces of wall art from a local artist, and another one named Van Bin. And the dealer of the gallery, Galerie de la Cité, or du Cité.
De la Cité.
De la Cité, Philippe. Fabulous guy, just my kind of personality type that I'm attracted to. Very flamboyant and artistic and chic and social and lively and friendly. And so he was very much like entrancing and advised us on some good investment pieces and just some fun pieces, and so far has guided us on how to get some more lighting for our new place, because they take all the light in France when you buy a house, unless you negotiate the lighting, like chandeliers and things, they go. So we needed to buy some lighting, which leads me to the next point of discussion. But that experience was so nice. He was wrapping up for the season. They have Van Bin is going to Miami for an exposition, so he's wrapping up all that stuff and getting ready to go to Miami. And then Philippe said he was going to take some time in Cuba, which seems pretty cool. So we were able to get a lot of art for a pretty good deal. So that was really cool. And yeah, so the next point of discussion was we bought a new chandelier. I think it's going to go in our dining room, but it's very much in the style of Alexander Calder. So I'll superimpose some Calder images as I'm talking. But we bought this chandelier from a very cute brocante, Petit Coin de Merveille, I think that's what it's called, or at least the corner of marvels. And I met Sandrine, the owner, and she was so sweet, and we talked for quite some time. And she told us about the piece, which was in a store here in Castelnaudary. They went out of business, or they changed or something, and then she got that, and we were able to buy that piece for our place. So we're looking for more modern, contemporary kinds of art to go along with our more, traditional pieces. But we just are art collectors. I like collecting art. I like supporting artists. I like supporting creators and artisans, and that for me is a big part of community, supporting the local community and people who are doing something creative and constructive. So I like putting my money in people and their creativity, and also having something beautiful to admire, and it increases my mood and increases my hope and my optimism and my own imagination. So that was really cool. And then the third thing was we had a lot of fun talking with a man named Lubin.
Yeah, you say it well.
Lubin. And he is actually a guy who is retired. He said he was retired for like 20 years. And we met him at Intermarché. We saw the stand of like wine bottles near this gigantic wine section. And I was just helping myself. And Frank will add some video of that, and he did before me. And then he came up and he's like, "Oh, I'm the wine guy," and he was giving us tastes of like wine that was on sale in the area. And he is actually, after talking with him, we probably talked with him for like 20, 30 minutes. This is like how it is. I don't know how it is. The same thing with Philippe from the gallery. Like, I talked to him for an hour. I don't know.
More, maybe 2. I don't.
Probably. And so that's what we do every day. We meet random people. Even yesterday when we were going for a walk, we were meet these 2 old ladies, and they started asking us about Trump and explaining that, and we're like, we're not going there. But they were asking us lots of questions. But anyway, so we ended up talking to Lubin for 20, 30 minutes, and he told us he's the great nephew of Ferdinand Léger. So if you are familiar with the United Nations in New York, there's his art there. Very, 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 very famous artist. And unfortunately, his family did not get any art. Otherwise, they would be mega, mega rich.
Yeah, each painting goes for up to 200, 250, so million. Yeah, million.
But he was just so charming. He said he worked at Gillette before it got bought out, I think, by Unilever. Gillette, whatever. Oh yeah, Gillette is the sweater.
Yeah.
And Gillette is the razor. So and it's so funny because the office of Gillette was in Annecy, where we used to live and where our daughter was born, and that was pretty cool. The world is small, and he was just so fabulously nice. We've just had such a nice time meeting people. People here are just so friendly. It is definitely a French Southern thing. Because we didn't get that type of hospitality in the Alps. We did not get that at all. So that was nice, very knowledgeable, very friendly. He said he does that because he gets bored. And he just likes to meet people, talk to people, and it's kind of like what I like to do too. So that was cool. And we did buy some wine from him. We did buy some sparkling wine, which was in the method of champagne from Amory. He recommended, so we're going to try this later. We should probably put that on in the cold. And then we got Castel, Vigneron Artisan, so local wine. This one's Carte Or, Cascatel, master wine people from Cascatel. And we are using this also for our Boeuf Bourguignon, so he recommended that. And that was kind of like how I was like, oh, we should make Boeuf Bourguignon in the cookie-o.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been cool. I think the other thing is just meeting all these people and having a really good time has been very nice for us. Speaking of cool people, we were able to see our car dealer, Nicolas. He was in the hospital. I mentioned this for a week, and he became diabetic, and now he's lost a lot of weight. And but anyway, he came back and we saw him. He's much better now. He's on a sugar-free diet, and he gave us. Oh, speaking of gifts, Luban gave us this. I don't know if you know this, but this is a thing you put on your keychain, and it is a wine company name, but it's like a little token you put in your grocery cart. So he gave me that. That was really cute. And then Nicolas gave us this little keychain to go with our new vehicle, which is this van. And in a weird way, it's so weird. I think we're kind of having an adaptation moment because we've had the XC90, which is like the biggest SUV. And, you know, that just felt so fun to drive in America. It was so easy to drive. And then we have this van now, this Traveler, Peugeot Traveler, which is super amazing, which I think is the same quality as the Volvo. But the problem is that all the side streets are so tiny that we're very nervous. It's like almost like scared because just to parallel park in these small side streets, for some odd reason to preserve the houses or the sidewalk, they put these metal poles. So with the size of our vehicle, we cannot back in. So we have to kind of drive around to find a large enough space to park. And then the other thing that's hard for me because it's stick, which I'm very much used to driving stick. I've had 5 stick vehicles. I learned to drive on stick. My first cars were sticks. But like, I have to get used to, again, with this new clutch, to accelerate, be at a stop and accelerate up a hill again. That without fear of like stalling and then backing into the car behind me. So that's more of a getting used to. But fortunately in Castelnaudary,
it's pretty flat.
It's pretty flat, and then there is parking in most places for a vehicle like this because there are a lot of like bigger work trucks.
And it just brings back some like flashes of when I used to learn how to drive, and then when you're on a hill, you have to put the handbrake, and then you have this fine transition of like changing the gear on like first gear coming up, and then you have to like release the handbrake to like get going, and it's a bit of a
I never
fine
did that,
touch.
though.
Yeah,
I never did that. So I think it's just getting used to the clutch. It's a complete, and I think it's like getting used to the clutch and the size and weight of the vehicle because it's quite big. The last car that we had was a Peugeot 308, right?
Yeah,
And
that's very
that was
easy.
small, and that was so easy to go up and down the hills and the Alps. And I don't drive in snow, so that's going to be something that we're going to get used to as well. Which I learned is a new thing that they put, instead of snow tires, people put these like wrapping, these like not snow chains, but like fabric.
Socks,
They call them socks. So that's a new thing. That maybe, I don't know, I didn't see that when we lived in the Alps a long time ago. So that must be a new technology.
So in France, usually it's mandatory to have winter tire if the place you live at kind of snows or get like
ice.
the
Black
ice, yeah, which is so where I
dangerous.
grew up in Reims, we had quite a bit. So my parents used to have this, or everybody used
Two
to have to
sets of
switch.
tires,
Yeah.
and we did too. We had 2 sets of tires in the Alps. We used to keep them in our shed. I remember that. Yeah. So that's getting used to driving again, not having the space and kind of the forgiveness of space in the States. whatever, you just got to get used to it again. I remember parking in a parking garage. I totally smashed the side of the car. But fortunately, my friends at AFPA hooked me up with a trade school, that carrosserie trade school, where they were learning how to do, fix dents and paint, and the students did it for like next to nothing. That was very nice.
And what's interesting here in France is the main person on the insurance will get the malus. It's kind of like the removal of the points. So yeah, the main person on it. So for instance, and it's not going to happen, knock on wood, but there is some stuff happening to Leslie, then I'm the one where it goes on my record. So
yeah, I think that's a great system.
no. Don't do it.
So anyway, so there's all that. Those are the main events of this week. Always something new and something interesting here. And then, I think the final note from a woman's point of view is the subject of perimenopause. I think like slow living. I'm in my late 30s now, and an Asian woman, perimenopause begins about 38, 39. And that process has been physically difficult for me. Like getting used to the physical changes. Like the worst periods of my life. Like it felt like giving birth. But the cool thing is having girlfriends to talk about who are more mature than I, who have already experienced that, and them telling, you need to get on hormone replacement therapy, you need to do this, you need to do that, and kind of having that guidance, where I don't think that my mom had that. I don't think that there was that much education and guidance in the olden days, 30, 40 years ago, where now women are talking about it. And a funny story is I went to the pharmacy for hot flashes, and I asked the pharmacist, and there was a lady standing in line, and I'm trying to explain to her what I'm having, and without even thinking, she just, like without saying it, and she's reading my face and reading my mind, and she goes, oh, bouffe de chaleur.
Buffet de chaleur.
Buffet de chaleur. And I'm like, and I'm asking, well, and it means like, eat the heat. And I said, well, in French, I asked the question, am I eating the heat, or is the heat eating me? Because I feel like I'm being consumed by heat.
And I thought it was like
they just thought it was so funny,
so darling, that this American trying to understand, and they really thought about it, and they were like, certainly both.
Yeah, one woman said the heat is eating you, and then the pharmacist was like, no, you're eating the heat. So it was kind of a both kind of thing, but I do feel supported and nurtured here. The gynecologists are on vacation until the beginning of January, so I'll have my appointment then. But I have been taking herbs and vitamins to help with the symptoms of perimenopause, and a part of that is learning to relax. And you've seen me talk in other lectures. I did one for EduKC ARE Canada about the CARE method: circulation, assimilation, relaxation, elimination. I think like my confession is I don't really know how to relax. Like I'm always on the go, I'm always doing stuff. And also I think the American lifestyle, where you have to work all the time and you have this grueling schedule between your work, your home life, and then your kids. And our kids were going to 2 different schools. We're just always on the go. There was never a day that we were not busy. And Frank and I are very much used to 60, 70, 80, 90-hour weeks. And now we're like forcing ourselves to slow down. It's kind of uncomfortable for me because I want to get up and I want to do a million things. And my body's like, no, you need to rest. My spirit mostly is saying you need to rest. The body is, it is what it is, but, non-physical. Like, I would say it's very physical, but it's meat and flesh. Like, I feel like the soul is saying, slow down, girl. This is a different phase of your life. And to appreciate and enjoy things in a different pace. So that's been my homework lately, is work. My workout. Life can sometimes be a workout, and I was thinking like my workout is learning how to relax and rest.
Yeah. And what's also very, very different about the French culture? I mean, Castelnaudary is not a big town, but maybe I can shoot today like a video of downtown, and on Sunday you know, like the French culture is almost everybody stay home and relax and really don't do much. So I can add a shot, but it's like usually the
Ghost
Santa,
town.
it's ghost town, and even in Paris, it's except if it's the holiday season of, you know, getting Christmas stuff. But yeah, it's pretty typical where French people on Sunday, nothing, and you don't. When I say nothing, even in your house, usually you're not going to repaint, or it's really just pure relaxation and eat.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
rest.
and rest.
Or you can go see a movie, which
Yeah,
is what
which
we're going to do later.
yeah,
But it really is very jarring. It's uncomfortable, I think, for me, because it's just like I want to do a million things. And also, I think this whole concept for me with perimenopause and slowing down, I don't have all my creature comforts like I had at the house. I don't have the massage chair. I don't have the jacuzzi tub. I don't have the garden. I don't have the birds. I don't have like super comfy cozy bed and furniture and books galore and the things that I turn to, or go to the nail salon, or you know, I don't have those things yet. They're all in a container ship and they'll come at the end of January. So all my creature comforts that help me to cope with the discomfort of bodily changes and these types of things, I don't have them. So I'm learning to do that. And then one of the things is that I learned to share more. I mean, I was having a conversation with Xavier, getting my hair colored. You can see my hair is a little bit colored, and just telling him how the pressure of being this top coach. I mean, people call me all the time, message me all the time. People call me in the middle of the night, knock on my door in the middle of the day when I wasn't even working, my home. And he said he went through the same thing because, you know, he's like a celebrity hairstylist and he was having stalkers. And it was just the weirdest thing that we could relate on that level in a very, very particular personal way. I just thought it was so strange, and I'm having a full-on conversation with a straight hairstylist. Normally, I don't have this type of conversation with straight men, but here he is, and we're talking, and then instantly we're relating on something that's so particular and so unique. I mean, what are the odds of that? I don't know what the odds are of that, but that was really nice. I felt like we kind of had both of a healing experience talking about those things. So that's kind of like the main thing. Frank's gonna intersperse. He's my editor, so if you wonder who edits all the stuff, Frank's the editor. I have lots of beautiful footage of Castelnaudary on a sunny winter day that we'll put through here. Maybe we'll put it at the end. Maybe just a nice montage for
yeah.
you. But yeah, it's just, weekends are slow and we're enjoying it. We're learning to appreciate and be as a family. We've got a lot of board games for the Christmas days, and playing those together as a family is super fun. So I hope you guys had a nice Christmas and that you continue to have a beautiful new year. I hope that you, if you're watching, are able to relax and instead of panic and anxiety, you have stable energy and serenity. That I too am learning to seize and to experience on a daily basis. So thanks for joining us, and we'll give you a couple of shots of the Boeuf Bourguignon too. So have a great day. From my family to yours, bon appetit.